All right, hi boys and girls. Welcome back for day 2 in Primary Central Classrooms. Today we're going to be doing Module 6, Lesson 2, and it's just a continuation of what we were learning from yesterday when we used manipulatives, our pennies, to group different equal-sized groups. So today our objectives will be we will use math drawings to represent equal groups and relate them to repeated addition. So we're going to be adding those equal groups step by step until we get a total number of how many we have in all. So today we're going to be doing number 1, we're going to do our lesson. After we do our lesson, we're going to do our exit ticket, and then after our exit ticket, we're going to do our homework. Today, the only thing you may need is a piece of paper and a pencil to help you with the math drawings, okay? So I'm going to give you some time to get that together, and then we'll get started in just a few seconds, okay? Okay, so today we're going to be doing the same thing that we were doing yesterday, except this time we're going to be doing addition equations. So this is just laying the foundation, like I said, for us to learn how to do our multiplication facts for next year once we go to 3rd grade. So let's see. Number 1 says, write a repeated addition equation to show the number of objects in each group. Then find the total. And remember, total is one of those words that let us know that we're going to be adding. It's a key word. And the sentence tells us that we have to write a repeated addition equation. So let's look at A. We have how many circles? How many circles do we have? That means how many groups do we have? Let's count them, okay? Make sure it doesn't fade. We have, and I'm going to write it in a different color, 1 group, 2 groups, 3 groups. We have 3 total groups. But now I need to know how many pencils, how many objects, how many pencils do we have in each group? So let's look at our first circle, boys and girls. What is in our first circle? We have 1, 2 pencils. How many do we have in the second group? Let's see. 1, 2, 2 more pencils. And then what do we have in the third group? 1, 2. We have 2 more in our third group. So whenever I get ready to do my equation, I'm going to look right below the circle of my first group, and I see that there's 1, 2, so I'm going to write a 2 down in that blank. Then I'm going to go to the next group, the next circle, and I'm going to count how many is in that group. And I have 1, 2 more pencils. So boys and girls, let's put 2 down in that equation, okay? And then I still have a blank left, so I'm not done. And I notice I also still have 1 more circle left, 1 more group that has 2 pencils in it. So I have 1, 2 pencils, so now I'm going to write 2 down on my equation, and that's it, because now I see that there's an equal sign. So now it's time for me to do the repeated addition equation that the question asked me about. And I know that I'm adding because I see addition signs in my equation, and I remember my key word says I have to find the total amounts, right? I have to find the total. So I'm going to add 2 plus 2 is 4, plus another 2, 1, 2 is 6, and that's all. So 2 plus 2 is 4, plus another 2 is 6. So I have a total of 6 pencils in all. And so that helps me answer my repeated addition equation. Next, right below it, let's finish our sentence statement now that we have our number sentence. It says 3 groups of blank equals blank. So I know that we have 3 groups because I noticed that we have 3 circles, but 3 groups of what? Oh, let's check back at our number sentence. Each group had 2 pencils in it. So I have 3 groups of 2 pencils. So I'm going to put 2 in the blank. And now it's time to figure out what do we have in all. If I look back at my number sentence, I know that 2 plus 2 plus 2 is 6. So I know that 3 groups of 2 is 6. Now, if you remember from earlier in the year, we learned how to skip count. And in this equation, we would see that we could skip count by 2. That's 2, 4, 6. We skip count by 2s. Or you could have counted them all out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good job. Okay, now that we did letter A, now it's time to move on to letter B. It's the same thing as we did in A, except for this time we're working with 4 groups and we're also working with teddy bears. So now we got to figure out how are we going to make a repeated addition equation to represent our teddy bears now. And we also know that we have to find the total. Again, same thing as in part A. So this one should be a little bit easier, but let's do it together, okay? So let me look. I have how many circles? How many equal groups do I have? Let's count, okay? We have 1. We have 1 equal group, 2 equal groups, 3 equal groups, and 4 equal groups. So we have 4 circles, 4 groups that we're going to be working with our teddy bears. Now let's see how many teddy bears are in each circle. Okay, so we're going to count. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3 in our first circle. So I'm going to go right below it and I'm going to put a 3 in that blank right below it, as you can see. Okay, now let's go to our next circle and let's count in our equal group. We have 1, 2, 3. We have 3 more teddy bears. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put another 3 for my second group. Good job, but we're not done. So I still have 2 groups left. So let's keep working, okay? So let's see. I have 1, 2, 3 more teddy bears that's going to go in that third group. So I'm going to put another 3 right here. And so let's keep going because I still have 1 more group left. And in that last group, I have 1, 2, 3 teddy bears. So that's going to finish my number sentence. The number 3. So now it's time to find, let's see what the question asked again. The total, that's right. So let's add them all up, shall we? So I know that 3 plus 3 is 6, and then 6 plus 3 more, 1, 2, 3, is 9, and then 9 plus 3, I'm going to try to use mental math. 9 plus 3 is 12. So I know that we have 12 total teddy bears in all. And just like I said in question A, is you could have done this with skip count, or you could have counted them individually one by one. And if you would have skip count, you would have done 3, 6, 9, 12. Or not, you could have just counted them out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 teddy bears in all. So let's go down and let's finish our sentence statement. Our sentence statement says there's 4 groups of blank that equals a total of blank teddy bears. So I know we do have 4 groups because we counted them earlier. 1 group, 2 group, 3 group, 4 group. But groups of how many? Well, if I look at my number sentence, I see that there's 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. There's 3 teddy bears in each group. So there's 4 groups of 3 teddy bears in each group. And I want to know, what does that equal? What's the total amount of 4 groups of 3 teddy bears? Well, if I look back at my number sentence, I already calculated my total, and I remember that it was 12. 4 groups of 3 equals 12, because in each group there's 3 teddy bears, and when I add all of those teddy bears up, I get 12. And remember when I said that this is just laying the foundations for us to learn how to multiply and do our multiplication facts next year. Because in the future, you'll see that 4 groups of 3 equals 12 is the same thing as 4 multiplied by 3 equals 12. So remember that and think about that next year whenever you start learning your multiplication facts, okay? Okay, boys and girls, now it's time for us to do number 2. It says, draw 1 more group of 4, then write a repeated addition equation to match. So in this problem, we're going to be working with some equation circles, as you can see on the next page. we're going to be working with socks. And so as you can see at the end, there's an empty space where we're going to have to draw that one more group of 4. And then we're going to write a repeated addition equation. So let's go over to the next page. Let me make sure that this stays up so you guys can see it. And so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 circles, but the last one doesn't have any in it because that's where we're going to add that one more group of 4 socks. So let's see. Instead of socks, because I don't have an actual sock sticker, I'm going to use my red pencil to draw 4 red circles that's going to represent my 4 socks. So let me go down and let me just draw 4 red circles. So that's 1 sock, 2 socks, 3 socks, 4 socks. So now I have 4 socks in that last circle, that last equal group. And remember, let's see, how many groups do we have? We have 1 circle, 2 circles, 3 circles, 4 circles, 5 circles. So again, that's 1 circle, 2 circles, 3 circles, 4 circles, 5 circles. Now, it's time for us to make our repeated addition equation. Now, whenever we're doing this, we're going to make sure that we fill it in for each blank. So if I look at my first group, my first circle has 4 socks. So I'm going to go right beneath it and I'm going to grab my red pencil and I'm going to write the number 4 to represent those 4 socks that are in that first group. And then I'm going to go to the next blank and I see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4 socks. So I'm going to draw the 4 beneath it. And now I have 4 socks at the bottom. Next, I'm going to go and I'm going to look. Okay, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 socks in my third group. So now I'm going to write the number 4 in my third blank to represent my third group. There we go. Now let's see. I still have 2 groups left. So let's see how many socks are in my fourth group. Well, if I count, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 socks in it. So now I'm going to take the number to represent the 4 socks in my fourth group. And then I have 1 more blank left, and it's telling me that I have 1, 2, 3, 4 red circles, or like we said, the circles represent 4 socks. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 socks. So now I'm going to put the number 4 to represent the 4 socks. And then we're done because now I have how many number 4s? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I have how many circles? How many groups do I have? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groups of how many socks? How many socks are in each group? And there's 4 in each circle, in each group. Now, it's time for us to finish the question when it told us we have to find the repeated addition equation. So I know I'm going to have to add all of my 4s up to find the total amount of socks that we have in all. So let's see. I'm going to do 4 plus 4 is 8. And then if I use mental math, I know that 8 plus 4 is 12. And then 12 plus 4 is 16. And 16 plus another 4 is 20. So I'm going to write down the number 20 at the end to fill in the total amount of socks that we have. Now, I could have just count each individual sock, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Or I could have skip counted like we did earlier on our other problem, and I could have counted by 4, skip count by 4, and I could have said 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, and I would have got the same answer as if I would have counted individually by ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. So now let's go down. We finished our number sentence. Now it's time to complete our sentence statement. It tells us that 5 groups of blank equals a total of how many socks? Well, if I look back at my number sentence, we do have five number fours, 5 groups of 4. So I'm going to write 5 groups of 4 because there are 5 circles, 5 equal groups that each have the number 4 in them, or have 4 socks in them. And so I know that 5 groups of 4 equals, we just found the total earlier. Let's look back at our number sentence, and then I remember that we had 20. So I'm going to write the number 20 to finish out my sentence statement. 5 groups of 4 equals 20. So now this is laying the foundation, like I said, for multiplication, because right here we added 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 equals 20. And if you see 5 groups of 4 equals 20 later in 3rd grade, you'll realize that 4 groups of 4 is the same thing as 5 times or multiplied by 4 equals 20. So let's get ready to go on to number 3. Okay, so now it's time for us to move on to do number 4. Number 4 tells us, let's draw 2 more equal groups. So now we're going to be adding 2 more equal groups and not just 1 more equal group. And then it says, then write a repeated addition equation. So now I'm going to write a repeated addition equation, same as we've been doing all morning. So let me see. Let me make sure this doesn't fade. Okay. Then we're going to write a repeated addition equation to match. Today we're going to be working on number 4 with hearts. So now let's see. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hearts, and we have, let's see, how many groups of hearts do we already have? So I'm going to switch, and I'm going to get my black pencil, and then I'm going to circle the first group I have. 1, 2 hearts. So I'm going to circle with my black pencil that first group. So that's my first group, my first equal group that has 2 hearts in it. So then let's see our next group. I have 1, 2 hearts in my next group. And then that's another equal size group, another circle, another group. And then let's do this last one. 1, 2 hearts. So let me circle that one with my black pencil. And so right now, before we do anything, we already have 1, 2, 3 equal groups, 3 groups with 2 hearts in each group. But it told me in my question to draw 2 more equal groups. So I have to add 2 more equal groups. 2 more groups mean I have to add 2 more circles to this picture that we're drawing. So let me grab my black pencil again, and I'm going to draw 2 more. So let's draw 1 more equal group, and then 1 more circle to equal another equal group. So now I added 2 more equal groups, but it's not equal exactly because I don't have any hearts in them yet. So now we got to add the hearts to the equation, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my red pencil, and I'm going to draw those 2 hearts because I realized that in each group that I had before, there's 2 hearts because there's 1, 2 in this first group. There's 2 hearts. In the second group, there's 1, 2 in that group. And then in my third group, there's 1, 2 hearts. So in my fourth group, how many hearts do you think is going to be in there? That's right. There's going to be 2 hearts. So I'm going to grab my red pencil, and I'm going to draw 2 hearts, and then I'm going to draw 2 hearts in the fourth one. So now I have equal groups. Each group that I have on my paper that I drew has equal amount of hearts. There's 2 hearts in each circle in each group. So now that we drew our picture, now it's time to do our repeated addition, my repeated addition equation. So let's see. Let me grab my red pencil, and I already have it. And let's do our first group. In my first group, I have 2 hearts. So I'm going to draw the number 2 in my first blank. Now let's look at our second group. My second group says that there's 2 hearts. So I'm going to put 2 to represent the 2 hearts in my second group. Then I have 1, 2, 2 in my third group. And then I have 1, 2 in my fourth group. And then I have 1, 2 in my last group. So I'm going to put the number 2. Good job. So now let's see. How many groups do I actually have? We never did that. Let's see. How many circles? How many equal groups do we have? Let's see. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 equal groups. We have 5 equal groups. So that's good. I know how many groups we have. So now let's see. If I know that there's 2 hearts in each group and there's 5 groups, how many hearts do we have in all? We could skip count or we could count them individually. But right now, let's just add up our repeated addition equation. So I know that 2 plus 2 is 4, and then 4 plus 2 is 6, and then 6 plus 2 is 8, and then 8 plus 2 is 10. So I know that 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 equals 10. So let me grab my red pencil, and I'm going to put the total amount of hearts is 10. And that completes our repeated addition equation. Now, if I go down to the bottom, it says blank groups of 2 equals blank in total. So, we just figured out how many groups were there when we counted earlier. That's right. We said that there were 5 equal groups. There were 5 circles that we created. So I'm going to put down that there are 5 groups. Good job. So 5 groups of 2 hearts. We had 2 hearts in each of those groups, and we had a total of 5 groups. Now, if I have 5 groups, in each group there's 2 hearts, how many hearts do we have in all? And if I look back at my number sentence, I know that the total that we found was 10 hearts. So 5 groups, 5 circles, 5 equal circles of 2 hearts equals a total of 10 hearts. Good job. All right, now let's look at number 5, boys and girls. It tells us that we're going to draw 3 groups of 5 stars. Then we're going to write a repeated addition equation. So it's the same thing we've been doing, except this time we have to actually draw the groups ourselves and draw the stars, the 5 stars that we're going to be working with. So let me make sure this doesn't fade. Except we're not going to finish working this problem out. We're going to go to the next page so we'll have more room. So remember, we're going to do 3 groups, 3 circles, 3 equal groups that has 5 stars in each group. So remember that. We're going to have 3 groups, 3 circles that's going to have 5 stars in each group. So let's go to the next page. And I'm going to draw 3 circles. So I have 1 circle to equal an equal group, another circle to equal an equal group, and then I have 1 more to put my stars in. So that's 3 equal groups. But now I have to make sure that I fill it in. I have to draw 5 stars in each group. So I'm going to grab my red pencil, And then I'm going to draw some little bitty stars, 5 in each group. So let's look at our first group right here, okay? Our first circle. We're going to draw 5 stars. So I'm going to grab my red pen and I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 circles. So my first group has 5 circles in it. Now let's go to our second group. My second group, how many stars? 5, because it said we're going to do 3 groups of 5 stars. So I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in that group. Good job. And now let's do that last group. That last circle is going to have how many stars on the inside? That's right, 5 stars. So I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stars in that last group. And I think we're done. We finished drawing our picture. Now it's time to make a repeated addition equation. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab my black pencil and I'm going to set up my equation. So for my first group, I'm going to draw a blank. And then I'm going to put a plus sign. And then for my second group, I'm going to draw another blank. And then I'm going to put a plus sign, and then for my last group I'm going to put another blank, and then I'm going to add my plus sign, and then that's it, because I know that I only have 3 groups, so I needed 3 blanks. I'm going to put let's erase that, because it shouldn't be a plus sign. It should only be a equal sign right there. Okay, let's see, there we go. So now we have an equal sign, and then I'm going to put another blank on this side to see how many do we have in all. So if I look at my first group, I know that we have 5 stars in my first group, because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red stars in my first group. Then if I look at my second group, there's another 5, so I'm going to put 5 down for my third group. And then in my last group, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stars as well. So I'm going to put a 5 in the last blank. And now it's time to find, what does that equal? What's the total amount once I add up all of those stars? So I have 5 plus 5 is, that's 10. 10 plus another 5 is, that's right, it's 15. So I'm going to put 15 for my total to finish my repeated addition equation. So now I have 3 groups of 5 stars equals 15. So that's good job. I'm glad we learned this for today. I want you to keep practicing, going back over the material. If you still don't get it, you can have mom, your dad to help you go over those problems and write them down out on paper. Because next, in just a few seconds, I'm going to let you pause it, get everything situated, and then we're going to go on and we're going to do our exit ticket, okay? All right, boys and girls, now it's time to do our exit ticket. Let's see how well you learned the material today. So number 1 tells us we're going to draw one more equal group. So we're going to draw one more equal group to what we already have down here below. So what you could do is you could grab a piece of paper and a pencil, and we're going to redraw what we see on the screen. So I know on number 1, I'm going to write number 1. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 circles, or 4 groups. So I'm going to draw 1 group, 2 groups, 3 groups, 4 groups. So if you look on the page, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 circles, 4 groups, and that's what I have on my paper. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, in each group, there's 1, 2, 3 diamonds. So I'm going to get my pencil and I'm going to draw 1 diamond, 2 diamonds, and then 3 diamonds in that first circle, and then I'm going to get another one, and I'm going to do my second circle. I'm going to draw another diamond, and I'm going to draw another diamond because there's 3 diamonds in each circle. So now I did my second group. Now let's go on to the next one. In my third group, there's 1, 2, 3 diamonds in a row. So I'm going to draw those 3 diamonds. Okay, so everybody has the 3 diamonds for the last one, but we don't know what's going to go in that last one. But I do know, if I look at before, I noticed that there's a pattern. There's 1, 2, 3 diamonds in the first one, 1, 2, 3, 3 diamonds in the second group, and then there's 1, 2, 3 diamonds in the third group. So I can only assume that if I'm going to be making equal groups, like the problem told me, that I'm going to put 3 diamonds in my last group. So let me make 3 diamonds to go in my fourth group. So now that I drew my circles, my equal groups, there's 3 diamonds in each group. Okay, now it's time for me to draw my repeated addition equation. So I'm going to set it up just like this so I can find what is my answer. And you guys can set it up just like I did. Beneath each one, you can put a blank, another blank, another blank, another blank, and then equals the equal sign. Okay? So in my first one, I have 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to put the number 3 on my paper, just like on the screen. So you can write the number 3, just like on the screen right here. You see it? I put 3 down because there's 1, 2, 3 diamonds. Then I'm going to go to the next one, and I see that there is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3 in that second group. So I'm going to write the number 3 in my next blank. So let me put the number 3. And then if I go to the next group, there's 1, 2, 3 diamonds in that group. And then can go to the next group, and I can put another 3. And now it's time to do my last one. I know I added, like on my paper, I added some more diamonds. So I'm going to draw those diamonds in on the screen as well. So I added 1, 2, 3 diamonds. So I'm going to add my last 3 to my repeated addition equation. So now I'm going to add a 3 on the screen. I added it on my paper, so now I'm going to add it on the screen like you see right here. So I have 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 equals how many total diamonds? Well, if I do 3 plus 3, I know that's 6. 6 plus 3 is 9. And then 9 plus 3 is how much? Let's write it down on our paper. It's 12. So we're going to write 12 down for our total. And if we can see, how many groups did we have? We had 1, 2, 3, 4 groups of how many diamonds? We had 4 groups of 3 diamonds that equal a total of 12. So I'm going to write the number 12 down. And just like earlier, 4 groups of 3 is the same as in 3rd grade. You're going to learn 4 times 3, which equals 12. Okay, guys, let's do the last one. Number 2 on our exit ticket. Draw 2 groups of 3 stars. Let's see. 2 groups of 3 stars. Then write a repeated addition equation to match. So the same thing we did earlier, except we're going to have to draw every part of this picture. So first, let me make sure it doesn't fade. I have to draw two groups. So if I'm going to be drawing two groups, everybody take out your pen and your paper, your pencil and your paper, and we're going to draw on our paper two groups. So I'm going to draw one group on the screen, and then I'm going to draw the second group on the screen. So now I have two groups. So if I'm going to do the same thing on my paper, number 2, I'm going to draw one circle to equal a group, and then I'm going to draw another circle. So now I have two circles. Then it tells me that it's going to be 3 stars in each circle. So now let me grab my red pencil, and I'm going to draw 3 stars because it says two groups of 3 stars. So that means I need to put 3 stars in each group. So let me see. I'm going to do, this is 1 star, and then I have another star in this group, and then 1 more star equals 3 stars because it said two groups of 3 stars. So let me write that down on my paper. 1, 2 stars, 3 stars. Now, let's go and let's do our last group because that's just one group. One group has the 3 stars in it, but I needed to have 3 stars in the last group too, so I would have 2 equal groups. 2 circles with 3 stars in them. So I'm going to put 1 star, 2 stars. Is that right? Did I do that right? Because I only put 1, 2 stars. How many stars am I supposed to put in that group? Yep, that's right. I should put 3 stars. That's only 2. So let me add 1 more because the question told us that we're making 2 groups of 3 stars, not just 2 stars. So good job. Now let's do our repeated addition equation. Let me grab my black pencil. And now let's add these up. So if I was to do this, I'm going to make a blank for my first group plus a blank for my second group equals how many total groups? Okay, so in my first group, I have 1, 2, 3 stars. There's 3 stars. So let me grab my red pencil and I'm going to put the number 3 right below that first group because there's 3 stars in that first group. So let me write on my paper 3 plus how many's in that last group? That's right. There's 3. So I'm going to write 3 down for my last group. So now I'm going to put 3 down on my paper, and that equals a total of how many stars? How many stars do we have in all? We have 3 plus 3 equals 6. So now I know I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 because 3 plus 3 is 6. 3 stars plus another 3 stars is 6 in all. So now I need to know, did I answer the question? Number 2 said to draw 2 groups of 3 stars. We have 2 groups. We have 2 equal circles, and each circle has 3 stars in it. So we got that part right. Good job. And then the last one says, then write a repeated addition equation to match. We did 3 plus 3 equals 6. That's our number sentence, and that's right. So good job, guys. I'm glad that you was able to work through this problem. You could keep practicing, pause the video, rewind, so you could keep practicing and getting better. And then we're going to move on and we're going to do homework in just a little bit, okay? Okay, boys and girls, now it's time to work on our homework. Number 1 says, write a repeated addition equation to show the number of objects in each group, then find the total. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to write a repeated addition equation to show how many objects are in each circle, in each group. And then we're going to find the total amount in each one. Make sure it doesn't fade. So looking at A, we're going to be working with some paintbrushes. And we have how many black circles, how many equal groups do we have? Well, I see that there's 1, 2, 3 black circles or 3 equal groups. And so I know that we're working with 3 groups of how many paintbrushes? Well, let's count them. There's 1, 2, 3 paintbrushes in the first circle. So I'm going to write 3 down right below my first group. Then let's look at our second group. There's 1, 2, 3 paintbrushes. So now in my next blank, I'm going to write another 3. 1, 2, 3. There's 3 paintbrushes. And then there's one more group. That last group, that third group, that last circle has 3 paintbrushes in it. So now I'm going to write 1, 2, 3. There's 3 paintbrushes in the last circle. And so, do I have any more paintbrushes to add? No, because we counted all of them. There's 1, 2, 3 in the first group, 1, 2, 3 in the second group, and then there's 1, 2, 3 in the last group. So now it's time for us to add up all of our paintbrushes so we can find the total. So first we have 3 plus 3 plus 3. If I remember, I know that 3 plus 3 is 6, and then 6 plus 3 is how much? Who remembers or who knows what's 6 plus 3? It's 9. So we have a total of 9 in all because if we remember, our sentence question asked us to find the total amount of objects. So now that we've done our number sentence, because we know that 3 plus 3 plus 3 equals 9, now it's time to do our sentence statement. At the bottom it says 3 groups of blank equals blank in total. We do know that there is 3 groups, but 3 groups of what? That's right, paintbrushes. There's 3 groups of 3 paintbrushes. So I'm going to write the number 3 down here. And then I know that 3 groups of 3 equals 9. So I'm going to write 9. Okay, so that finishes our question because 3 plus 3 plus 3 equals 9. 3 groups of 3 equals 9. And in 3rd grade, you're going to learn that 3 groups of 3 equals 9 is the same thing as saying 3 multiplied by 3 equals 9. All right, let's go down to the next question on number 1B. Let's look at B now. This time we're working with some paint buckets. And y'all know I love to paint. So let's see, how many groups of paint do we have? Let's count our black circles. Our black circles is going to tell us how many equal groups we have. Well, let's see. I have 1 group, 2 groups, 3 groups, 4 groups. So I have 4 equal circles, 4 equal groups that have how many paint buckets in them? 1, 2. There's 2 paint buckets in each equal group. So I'm going to grab my red pen and I'm going to put the excuse me. I'm going to put the number 2 in my first blank because I know that there's 2 paint buckets. 1, 2, 1, 2 paint buckets. Now let's go to the next one. Then how many paint buckets are in the second group? There's 1, 2. So I'm going to put the number 2 in my second blank. Then how many is in the third group? There's 1, 2. So I'm going to put the number 2. And then there's 1, 2. I'm going to put the number 2 in that one. So now I know that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 paint buckets in all. I also could have skip counted by 2s and I could have said, there's 2, 4, 6, 8. There's 8 paint buckets in all because 2 plus 2 is 4. 4 plus 2 is 6, and then 6 plus 2 is 8 in all. So good job. And now that we've done our number sentence, let's go down. Number 1B, the sentence statement says 4 groups of blank equals blank total. So I know that there's 4 groups. There's 4 black circles that we see on our screen, but 4 groups of how many buckets? If we look at our number sentence, we know that there's 2 paint buckets in each group. So I'm going to put 4 groups of 2 equals how many total? How many total paint buckets did we find earlier? That's right, we found 8 paint buckets. So I'm going to put a circle right here. The number 8 right here. And as you can see, 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 4 times is 8. And then in 3rd grade, you'll learn that 4 groups of 2 equals 8. Okay, guys, so for number 2, we're going to skip number 2 today, and I'm going to exit out, so we're not going to worry about doing number 2. And we're just going to move on and go to the next page and finish up our homework, okay? So just ignore number 2, and let's go on to the next one. And I'm going to give you a couple of seconds, and then we'll move on. Okay, guys, let's finish up our homework on number 3. It says, let's draw one more group of 4. So I know I'm going to be working with one more group of 4. I'm going to have to add an additional group of 4. Then I'm going to write a repeated addition equation to match it. So right now, let me make sure that it saves. So now we're working with triangles today. So we're working with red triangles, and it told us that we need to add one more group of 4. But before we do our additional group, I'm going to get the black pencil. So everybody get out your black pencil or get a pencil, and we're going to create our groups. So the first group of 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm going to circle this group so that I know that it's a group later when it's time for me to add. So this is my first group. And then my second group, 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm going to circle it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good job. And then I'm going to look at my next group, my third group, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to circle them. And there we go. That's my third group. But it told me in the question that I need to draw one more group of 4. So over here to the side, I'm going to draw one more group. So just like that. So now I added one more group of 4. But now let's draw our triangles in the inside. So I'm going to switch to my red pencil. And now I'm going to draw how many triangles? 1, 2, 3, 4 triangles. So I'm going to put a triangle here. That's 1. Then I'm going to do 1, 2 triangles there. Then I'm going to do 3 triangles there, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 triangles here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 triangles. Now I've added one more group of 4. This one right here is my additional one group of 4 triangles. Then it tells me I have to write a repeated addition equation. So let's go down to our number sentence, and I see that I have 1, 2, 3, 4 blanks. So now it's time for me to add however many triangles are in each group. And so I know that there's 1, 2, 3, 4 triangles. So I'm going to write the number 4 down in my first blank for my first group. Then in my second group, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to put 4 in my second blank. And then I know that there's 1, 2, 3, 4 in my third group. So I'm going to put 4 triangles in the third group on the third blank. And then that one more group that I added earlier is going to fill in my last blank right here. So now let's count how many triangles are in my last group that I drew. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 triangles. So now I'm going to put 4 down in my last blank. Good job. Okay, now it's time for us to add all of these 4s up to see how many triangles do we have in all. So let's see, we have 4 plus 4 is 8, and then 8 plus 4 is 12, and then 12 plus 4 is 16. That's right. So we're going to put the number 16 down for our total amount of triangles that we have in all. When I combine and I put all of those triangles together, I have 16 triangles. Now, whenever we do this, you could skip count by 4s, 4, 8, 12, 16. Or you could have counted each triangle individually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. We could have did it that way too. Either way, we came to the same answer, which is 16. And remember, you always want to try to use different strategies whenever you're working math problems to see which one works best for you. So now it's time for us to do our sentence statement. Blank groups of 4 equal blank. So now, how many groups of 4 did we create? How many black circles, how many equal groups did we create? We created 1, 2, 3, 4 black circles, or 4 equal groups. So I'm going to put the number 4 in front of groups. So 4 groups of 4 equals how many? How many is 4 groups of 4? Exactly. We said it was 16 total triangles. So we know that 4 groups of 4 equals 16, or later in third grade, you're going to learn that 4 times 4 equals 16. Okay, so let's keep going and let's go on to our next. Okay, now it's time for us to do number 4. Number 4 says, draw 2 more equal groups. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my red pencil and I'm going to draw 2 more equal groups, a box around it. Draw 2 more equal groups. Then write a repeated addition equation. All right, so I know that I'm going to have to draw 2 more additional groups in addition to the ones that I already have. But just so I can know what groups belong with which, I'm going to grab my black pencil and I'm going to circle 4 hearts. And then I'm going to draw a circle around the 4 hearts for the second group. Then I'm going to draw another circle around the 4 hearts of the last group. So now if I look, I see right now I only have 3 groups of hearts, 3 black circles, 3 equal groups. But my question told me that I need to draw 2 more equal groups. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a circle to do 1 more equal group, and then I'm going to add 1 more circle, so I'd have 2 more equal groups. So good job. Now it tells me that I need to make the hearts that go in each group. So let's look at that next group. I don't have any hearts in it. I need to know how many hearts am I going to add into each of those new circles, each group. So let's look back. We have how many hearts in each group? I have 1, 2, 3, 4 in the first group. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 in my second group. And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4 in my last group. So now I know I'm going to have to add what number? That's right. We're going to add 4 hearts to our next one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my blue pen and I'm going to put 1 heart, 2 hearts, and then I have 3 hearts, and then I have 4 hearts. So now my fourth group has 4 hearts in it. Then let's go on. I'm going to see, let's see, my last group, I'm going to add 4 more hearts because I noticed that each of my groups, each of my black circles have 4 hearts in them. So I'm going to put 1 heart, 2 hearts, 3 hearts, 4 hearts. So good job. Now we're finished. Now we put all of our hearts in each group like they're supposed to be. And each group has how many hearts in it? That's right. They each have 4 hearts. So let's see. How many groups do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 black circles or 5 equal groups that has 4 hearts in each group. So now I'm going to grab my red pencil and I'm going to add the number of hearts in my blank. So in my first group, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 hearts. So I'm going to put a 4 down in my first blank. Then I have 1, 2, 3, 4 in my second group. And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4 in my third group. And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4 in my fourth group. So I'm going to put 4 down in my fourth blank. And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4 in my last group. So I'm going to put the number 4 down right here. Okay, so now I have all of my 4s, the 4s that are in each group, and I don't know how many hearts I have in all. Oh my goodness, that is a lot of hearts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add all of them up. I have 4 plus 4 is 8, plus another 4 is 12. 12 plus 4 is 16, and then 16 plus 4 is 20. So I know that I have a total of 20 hearts in all. So I'm going to write the number 20 down. Now it's time to figure out our sentence statement. It says blank groups of 4 equals how many total hearts. So I know that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 circles. So I know that that's 5 equal groups. So I have 5 groups of 4. So 5 groups of 4 equals how many? 20. That's right, because our number sentence said that 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 equals 20. 5 groups of 4 equals 20 hearts in all. And then later you'll know that 5 groups of 4 is the same thing as saying 5 multiplied by 4 or 5 times 4 equals 20. Good job. And now it's time for us to almost wrap up our homework. And so we're going to do number 5 in just a second. So just give me a second. Okay, boys and girls, now it's time for us to finish our last problem of the day on our homework, number 5. It says, draw 4 groups of 3 circles. So I know I'm going to be drawing 4 different groups that have 3 circles in them. So I'm going to draw a box around it, okay? And then it says, write a repeated addition equation to match. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the black pencil, and make sure it doesn't fade. So I'm going to take the fade off, and I'm going to draw 4 groups of 3 circles. So I know that I'm going to have 4 different groups. So I'm going to draw 4 black circles to represent each group that I have. So I'm going to draw 1 equal group, 2 equal groups, 3 equal groups, and then 4 equal groups. So now I have 4 different circles, 4 equal groups that I'm going to have to draw my circles in. Now, we don't have any circles inside of here. How many circles will I draw in each group? What does our question say? It says draw 4 groups of 3 circles. So now in each group, I'm going to draw 3 circles. So let's go to my first group. So for my first group, I'm going to draw 1, 2, 3 circles. So my first group has 3 circles. Now let's go to my second group. I have 1 circle, 2 circles, 3 circles, because my question told me that each group has 3 circles in it. So now let's go to the next one. So it says, let's see, I have 1 circle, 2 circles, 3 circles. So now I have 3 circles inside each group. And then for my last one, I have 1 circle, 2 circles, 3 circles. So now I have 3 circles in each group. Each black circle, each group has 3 circles in it. And I think that's what I'm supposed to draw, because it said draw 4 groups, and I do 1, 2, 3, 4 groups of 3 circles. So each circle has 1, 2, 3 circles on the inside. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch, and now it's time for me to create and write my repeated addition equation. So now I'm going to put a blank down for this group, and then put a plus sign because I'm adding these up because it said repeated addition. Then I'm going to put a blank down for this group, and then I'm going to put my addition sign. And then I need a blank down for this group, and then I'm going to put an addition sign, and then I have a blank down for this group, and then I'm going to have my total at the end. So for my first group, I'm going to switch back to my red pencil so I can draw. I have 1, 2, 3 circles for my first group. Then let's go to our second one. I have 1, 2, 3 circles for my second group. And then I have 1, 2, 3 for my third group. So I'm going to write the number 3 down in my third blank. And then I have 1, 2, 3 for my fourth group. So now I know that there's 3 circles in each group. So I knew I needed to write 3 down in each of my blanks, because 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 is what number? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's 12 blue circles. So that's 12 in all. Or like I said, skip count, 3, 6, 9, 12. And then that concludes our lesson for the day, boys and girls. Continue to rewatch the video so you can learn this material really well, because eventually we're going to do some worksheets, and we're going to really get into how we work these problems. And keep practicing your different groups of objects, so next year when you go to 3rd grade, you'll know exactly how to do your multiplication facts, and it'll become easier and quicker, because at the beginning of the class you may start doing multiplication facts every day. So just stay tuned and continue to come back to Primary Central Classroom so you can get your lessons every day, okay? All right, boys and girls and parents, thank you for coming in to do lesson 2 of module 6. I think we learned a lot of things today. Thank you for coming in to Primary Central Classrooms e-learning by Miss Williamson. If you have any questions, remember my office hours are Tuesdays and Thursdays from 1 to 3 p.m. Do not hesitate to contact me, message me through Class Dojo. Any point of contact is okay. I'm in this with you to help us get through these lessons. And like I said, any questions, just let me know. And I'll see you again for our next lesson, lesson 3. See you later.